of the crowd. And to this point, Joseph Young looking for his first field goal. A little different situation than Thursday night against Oklahoma State. He's 0 for 5 here at the start. Thursday night, he finished with a flourish, scoring the last 15 points in the first half against Oklahoma State. This is Cody Benson. Brooks.
They need better floor spacing as Oregon right now. Everybody's a little too jumbled in, not moving. He got the switch that he wanted.
And that is Young hit. Moves on to Cleveland for a third-round matchup as they will face.
Three-point shot by him. But what was wonderful was the back flare screen that left his man wide open cutting. And that's going to be difficult all night for Oregon to choose their poison. Who do I guard, the three-point shooter or the wide open man cutting?
Hayes defending against Young. Hayes got tangled up, and Young took advantage.
So look for him to try to make some type of dent on his just going to the basket will.
Young played on a switch by Kaminsky. Pass intended for Young, able to save it. Just under 5 remaining in this first half. Young watched by Gosser. Able to split through. Fires. Hits. Whoa.
When you're as efficient as a Wisconsin team, that means your calling card is never to settle. Not for the jump shot, not for anything but the shot you want, as displayed on that last play.
Here's Young with a step back. Yes! 36-28.
Speaking of terrific, Hayes has been terrific for this team. If it wasn't for him in this game, you do not know when this team would be actually see if was it more nerve-wracking watching your son in competition?
Absolutely, watching your son in competition. I had 2 of them, and that kind of got my energy out by yelling at the refs, of course. Right now, the Oregon defense making it tough on Wisconsin.
Young turning the corner and score. Kano down the lane, rejected by Bell. And here's Young ahead of the field. Split, make it 10-2 now. And they have an 8-point lead with just 1 minute remaining. Nice spin by Young.
Got a foul.
There's 35 seconds to play. Young to the front court.
See, there you see it right there. It's happening to him all day, and he still puts some points on the.
How hard did you play? Did you leave it all, whether the matchups were evenly matched or not?
All Young right here.
Come on. Play some defense on the perimeter if you're the Ducks. I want to see if these guys can fly all the way home without an airplane.
And Joe Young in the 2 games against Arizona struggled with Hollis Jefferson on him, but a great start.
Ideals.
Karszewski misses and could have easily called a foul there on Ashley over the top.
Don't be calling for calling fouls. Let these guys play basketball.
Joe Young with all 5. Arizona and Oregon met in the Pac-12 football championship. It didn't turn out well for the Wildcats, but they traveled great. Great fan base. We had several games in Tucson this year, among the best places in college basketball to watch a game.
And the Zona Zoo down here, anchored by Will and Jordan. They come to every single game. They're right behind the band there.
So Young from Serbia. He puts it in, and it's back to a 16-point lead for Arizona.
I want to see Matt Korchak. That's who I want tonight.
Oh, Joe Young, the player.
Beautiful basketball, up and down both ways. Danny Ainge, Dave Myers, champion teammates here.
Young explodes to the goal and stuffs it.
I just wish I could go to the events, but gosh, I'm just doing all this stuff here. Man.
Here's Young for 3. Got it again.
So now he needs.
Who's PJC?
Number 3 in the white jersey. Parker Jackson Cartwright.
I mean, number 0? That's Parker Jackson Cartwright. Here's Joe Young.
He's number 0.
These guys have mutual respect for one another. They both kept their programs relevant. And right now, these guys are going to be what decides the game.
Young, the leading scorer, 20 points per game in the Pac-12, and a quick shot and score. He lost the dribble.
He thinks the game of basketball. A 2-time state player of the year from Idaho and Boise up there, the state capital in that magnificent state.
Under a minute to go in the half. 10 turnovers by Utah. They leave Joe Young alone for three, and he makes him pay. It's only his second basket, his first three-pointer that it gets in life. There's your guy, Danny Ainge, too, sitting next to David Griffin, the general manager of the Cavs. As Young strokes it through, that's the third basket for Joe. And Jordan Lovett still can't find it. He's 0 for 5 after an 18-point game last night. Here's Young, a deep three. It's good! And the Ducks take the lead. And two great games here in Vegas. Arizona.
Las Vegas. I told you that, please.
Joseph Young with 3 straight baskets. Again, I've seen highlights. Keep asking me about guys that I haven't seen play live.
I'm just asking.
That's why I said Mike Bibby. Here's Young inside the arc. He was straddling the line, but it's good anyway. Entire night. That's his first field goal attempt of the game.
Chris Reyes, the king, celebrating in the state that produces more gold than any other in the United States, Nevada.
Young spinning into the lane, and he scores. Trying to draw the charge was Brandon Taylor. He got it. We're tied at 64. Oregon will not call a timeout. Here we go. 5 seconds left in regulation. Young with 3. Young 4-3 in the win. Got it! Still 1.1 left. Here's DeLon Wright.
Particularly impressive second half. Will they be able to stay up long enough?
Well, Young on the mismatch, and he just picked his spot and took
Goldman's has. The athletic director, Rob Mullins, up in Eugene.
There's a press off the inbounds, and Oregon creates the first 3 of the night for the Ducks.
Turnover off the press. Joe Young right there to take advantage.
That's what he's trying for. Bang! 2 in a row. Here he could have dove into him and drawn a foul.
But that's one of the real strengths of Askia Booker's game, is getting to the foul line and that little pump fake. Beautiful.
And Joseph Young, terrific.
Can you keep it going? Who's going to be the guy who, when you're out in front, who can say, look, we are not letting up, we are not pulling back.
Oh, and on the switch. Picking up 2 fouls early in the first half. Oregon, interesting, was we were talking about Oregon trying to take advantage of the rest and push the pace. Oregon has only 2 points. Benson's drive a couple of minutes ago is the only points they have from their bench so far.
Dana Altman has tightened up the rotation.
Yes.
And with Joe Young being on such a roll all the way to being voted by the coaches as Conference Player of the Year. And he's not wearing down. He's not looking to slow it down. Beautiful.
Xavier Johnson stripped.
Joe Young again.
And Young will get the slam at the other end.
Coaches, the position filled by incredibly important people throughout this conference.
Wesley Gordon back in the game for Colorado. Young splits.
Whoa.
Beautiful job by Joseph Young. Joseph Young with 19 points. Oregon is having, and you see the numbers, a remarkable shooting second half. What a turnaround as Young now has...
Conditioning coach, University of Oregon, the facilities there that have all been orchestrated and masterminded by Pat Kilkenny, Rob Mullins. You go up there, I mean, it is a dream come true, what's happened in Eugene.
There it is, just a different body.
LeBron, up and down. And when you do that and you realize where you are and how much work you have to do to get anywhere near to where the king is today, that just helps you when you come out against the mere mortals and the rest of the guys who are in your own age group.
So a big Oregon possession now with the lead down to 7, and Young takes care of it. Colorado with one last kick is within 4.
And now it's the Buffaloes who are stomping their hooves. And with Oregon pulling it out, that's not their game.
Well, what Colorado needs, again, they've searched desperately, is to find they need a stop, a defensive stop. And it's going to be Young against Booker. Here's the screen. Scott pushes, but Young gets in all night.
Conference leader in steals.
And just a great all-around player, very similar to his dad, who is happy to join us here tonight.
We'll be getting away to travel following the steal is Jaleel Abdul-Bassett. Now here's Joe Young. Tops in the conference with 20 points per game, averaging just under 24, though, in his last 8 outings. Deep three, and it's good. And that's off Schaftenar with the triple. And Joe. Riser is good from Joe. Payton off the mark there and going up and getting it. Dylan Brooks, the guy he mixed it up with.
And one thing that you also have to look at is Joe Young steps up.
He's had a long career, a long season. They rely on him a lot, especially late in clock. So, 28%, that is certainly not, the numbers that we're accustomed to seeing from the third all-time leading scorer at Stanford. A guy who actually bumped me off the third all-time leading scorer about 2 months ago.
It's not personal.
Young. Because he watched Reed Travis early, and he soaked in all that information. And when he finally got his chance, he was ready for it.
He's had a big start tonight, 7 points, a block as well, a couple of boards. Casey Benson on the floor now as Young lets it rip. Boy, what a shot there.
And he was
long pull up there. Benjamin pulls down the offensive glass. Straightaway three, no whistle, and it rattles home. Boots once again, and it's picked up there by Benson. Somewhat. Who's going to come away with it? Here come the Ducks. Young the crossover, fadeaway two.
Nice job of getting the free throw line like they always do, but the last 2 trips just making 1 of 2. It's not going to get it done today.
Ducks pulls up a deep 2, and he barely.
And Marcus Allen continues his steady play. As long as he avoids getting to the free throw line where he can't make a shot. He's shooting 39% from 3, though.
Young lets it fly, and this is when Young
to get him going. That was just a simple downstream from Stephen Nasic, and Anthony Brown's got a very nice footwork and a quick release.
Only Brown's second make hasn't taken many shots. Young stepping through the defense.
A welcome sight for Stanford fans. Jason Randall's had a good second half, but he's yet to get his three-point shot going. Maybe that'll be it.
He's buried 2 3-pointers, both here at half number 2. 15 points now. 10 since intermission. Young steps back. He launches a 3 and hits.
He averages 4.5 rebounds as the point guard of this Duck team. And they'll work it in low.
And you see Travis got a double team. However, Cal is going to allow Jordan Bell to try to beat them on the inside. They won't respect him as an offensive player yet, but you have to respect.
It's block number 78 for Jordan Bell. That's tops in the conference, and Joe Young on the pull-up jumper there. Young just inside the arc.
Jabari Bird battled to get 2 offensive rebounds to keep Cal with that possession. It's only fair that he's the guy that gets the opportunity to knock down the 3 to cap it off.
What a start for Jabari Bird. He's got 7. Young has 7. Make it 10.
Very emotional game. To say that the Ducks will come away with 3 wins on that road trip will be extremely difficult. So therefore, to get started with the first of those 3 wins is extremely important.
How about
jumping to flap their wings a little bit in honor of Jabari Bird, who is taking off here in the first half.
Yeah, how ironic. You have Bear fans flapping their wings against the Oregon Ducks. Young answers again. They'll call off the iron for Jabari Bird. Oregon by a digit. No floater there. That was a strong.
Travis, again, matched up with Elgin Cook on that possession, gets rid of Jordan Bell somehow, and finds an easy look at the rim. And speaking of easy, that's why I said just for a second, Jordan Matthews now getting to the free throw line, attacking the rim. He has his mojo going on the offensive end, but they still have to find.
Wallace in the paint. Almost lost it. 5 seconds to shoot. And it's knocked away by Young. Joe Young.
The real Joseph Young stands up. It's going to be quite a show.
Well, for Utah, it's got to be a little scary if he stays on the point-scoring pace that he's at right now, because you know that in the second half,
it's going to explode.
There will be some strong will on his part.
I believe that's what happened last year. I think he had 0 or maybe 2 points at half in that Arizona State game.
And then dropped about 25 and a half. Number 2, maybe this is the first bucket. It is.
He's so slippery.
Up average averaging 10. Taylor about 11. Combined, they've got 3.
If you're Oregon, though, that last sequence just makes you sick to your stomach. I mean, you're well in control of the game. You have the fans on your side. They're undersized. They've got to push the ball.
Young gets a piece. Has an open lane. So far in the second half, Benson curling at the elbow. Brooks trying to take Myrtle off the dribble. Nice swat there by Myrtle with the long hand.
Yeah, excellent timing. This was all that length. Didn't have to get off the floor at all.
Out of 10 to shoot. Joseph Young about to take over. Young off the glass.
That's what I'm talking about.
Young from the corner.
You better make that.
To roll on it a little bit, try to put some pressure on that hamstring. But that's one thing with the hamstring, you're really tentative playing with something. If that's what it is, it seems as though that's what he's grabbing at. And if that's a hamstring, just a strain, it can find the paint and get good looks at the rim would be disaster for the Ducks.
Nice poke away. Brooks ahead to Young. All by himself. Rising, not getting the roll. And it's cleared by the Ducks. Dwayne Benjamin leading the transition. Young up and in.
To think after a big win against Stanford at home, they would come in with a little more energy. But Joseph Young, after that 7-0 spurt, really just kind of took the life out of the Ducks as he has stuck around and the newcomers come in, have really bought in to what Coach Altman is trying to get done.
Meanwhile, a couple of consecutive buckets for Colorado. Cuts the lead back down to 10. With Jerron Hopkins in transition.
And that's where Colorado really has had success in this game, is getting out in transition. But they have to stop Oregon from scoring before they do that. And they haven't done that very well throughout the first half.
How about the reset there? Showing some discipline with 10 seconds to shoot.
When you get the ball into the right man's hands, and good things happen.
Young versus Booker. Young wins that round.
Josh Scott looking to throw the ball out. He's 6'10", he's bigger and stronger than everyone in the paint, and he catches it right in the basket, and he's looking to get rid of the basketball. The big fella has to go up and try to score that.
3 up, 3 down.
Defending inside the interior.
The 3 ball by Talton bounces off. And here come the Ducks. Off the glass. How about the pretty...
And able to finish, and I think he can do that a lot more often. And speaking of
advantage of numbers, at UCLA on consecutive occasions able to score.
Now Cook at the free throw line. Baseline Benjamin. He draws a double team. Joseph Young. And hits. He looked for a shot yet. Parker in low. Knocked away. Picked up. Here comes Joseph Young. Speed dribble to the hole. Left hand high off the glass. And that was road. Ducks have won 4 in a row, and the steal. Here's Young with a 2-hand jam.
The glass playing excellent defense on this end of the floor as well.
39-35. $1:19 to go in the first half. 4 ties, 6 lead changes in this game. Young, 7 to shoot. Oh, that's the
Mason.
Hamilton off the mark. Here's Young. Pulls up. Oh, in trans.
Up Oregon's defense.
Young, pull-up jumper.
And everybody else is fighting for third. And it could be Stanford. It looked for a while like it was Stanford. Maybe it's this Oregon team.
It looked for a while like it was going to be UCLA, but they keep being their own worst enemy. And this guy, Joseph Young, can just flat out fill it up. And that is Joe Young.
That's his first points tonight. Nice cut, but Julian Jacobs missed again. USC 1 of 11. And you're seeing right now why they're 9-14, 1-10 in league play. Young again hits, and it's an 11-point lead. Wild shot there. With Jordan Bell, the second leading shot blocker in the Pac-12, altering that attempt.
When Reinhardt came out of high school a couple years ago down at Mater Dei with Gary McKnight, where Stanley Johnson and all the guys go to, and Eli Stalzer, Big X Johnson.
Nice move by Joe Young, knifing through the lane. See players who've been under the weather. Luis Gavrilovic, and he was in the locker room for a while during shoot-around today because of the illness.
Is he even out here tonight?
I have not seen him. He certainly hasn't been in the game. That's why USC's had to go to its bench. We've seen Dukes and Bryan in the game. Here's Young, tough shot by Joseph Young.
Points and blames other people for things that have gone wrong. This guy, point guard, star of the future for Conference of Champions.
Pretty move by Joe Young in the paint.
And Darian Clark, when he was in high school back in Georgia, in Conyers, Georgia, Andy Enfield was the very first coach to ever contact Darian.
On the other end, he has 12. Two players with 12 points, one on each team. McLaughlin's 3 not there. And Cook with the rebound. He averages about 6 boards per game. Not a great rebounding team as Young with the left hand kisses it home. Be a distributor, and he had 10 rebounds in their last game. He misses there. Cook with a rebound.
Who was the greatest offensive player you ever saw?
And then you have also DeLon Wright as Joseph Young hits a 3. Young's making a case. Yeah, you asked me who I saw in person, and I said Michael Jordan. I didn't see Kareem play in person. Young on the drive, gets it to go. He scored 7 of the last.
And yes, Laurie is coming to dinner tonight.
Maybe not anymore.
You know what's fantastic about what's happened here?
Three-pointer is good, and it's a...
And he comes on.
Shot clock's at 5, by the way. Young got it blocked, got it back,
foul.
Into the lane, and gets the bounce.
So Bob Weir forgets the words.
Have to start making shots and defending. Impressed that Josh's production has not dipped at all in league play. In fact, his rebounding average has expanded. He's really a smart player. You know, he's one of those guys, been around basketball all his life. I'm just really impressed with him.
Double-doubles and 3 in a row. And going to the line with a chance for 3. Joe Young.
I think it's a good look for him right there because he can hit that thing.
Benson lost the handle. Abdul Bassett saves it. Joe Young steps into a 3.
Don't want to give him that shot. Absolutely don't want to. Just turned it over 2 or 3 times. Joseph Young.
Count that. Baseline, shed the defender. Weak side board to Cook.
Pace of the game up and down.
Joe Young got the whistle, got the buckets.
I don't think that will be successful. It's what good basketball is. It's what good offense is. Put your best players in a position to be successful. Don't expect them just to play one-on-one.
Rory in the backcourt with Young. Brooks, Cook, and Benjamin up front. Joe Young inside out to get to the rack. Another chance for a 3. I think coming into this season, you could have made the case that of the traveling pairs, the road trip to Oregon might have been the easiest on the schedule, or so we thought. How far from the truth has that proven to be?
Yeah, Oregon's mostly played at home, and they've been very good. And boy, look at that ball movement.
Entering Joe Young, and Lacey playing the 3 personal fouls.
See, Dana would like his team not, obviously, to give Lacey those shots. He's over there. He's pretty upset, even though he's way up.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my goodness.
We resume with Hawkinson capping it at the free throw line. Young remains in the game, and he's looking for his first field goal of the half.
That's just so.
Now, Mike, how much of it is the Pac-12, do you think, figuring out what Ernie Kent and the Cougs are trying to do? As Young rinses it with the left. As an assistant at Stanford, working with him, working against him. It's kind of put a bow on this Ernie Kent reunion tour for us, if you will.
Well, the results, obviously.
The dismissal of Upshaw. But as you see, 7 losses, 6 in conference play. They've lost 7 of 10. Another 3 for Joe Young. He's really attacking the lane and finding success in doing so.
I don't want you to get confused with Andrew Andrews, who has the 2 first names. He was adopted by his aunt, who had Andrews as her last name. And so we just want to thank Miss Andrews for adopting Andrew.
Tough shot by Young.
And not succumb to the pitfalls of indolence. And get the ball in bounds.
Oregon leading by 1 with 6 minutes to play here in the first half. The Ducks tied with UCLA and Oregon State for 4th in the Pac-12 as we start the second half of conference play. Ducks under Dana Altman have been a very good team in the second half. Another without Robert Upshaw.
He wasn't a big scorer. He's a big shot blocker. I liked watching him play.
Young, great ball fake. Got the defender, Darren Johnson.
South Carolina, Don Staley still getting it done there.
I believe it's Dawn Staley, not Don. Remember Dawn? She played, great point guard.
I remember the Dawn Wall on El Capitan. And every time you poo-poo that, I want you to go stand at the base of the Dawn Wall and look up and say, how do I get to the top?
Next time I'm there. Goes for Dorsey. Washington has 3 threes, and they've all been from Donovan Dorsey.
Are you old enough to remember in Colorado? Oh, Joe Young. Fantastic. Get whatever you want here.
Anderson, another missed 3 by Washington. 3 of 15 now from behind the arc.
One more pass, you would have had a dunk.
Oregon moving the ball in the perimeter. And Young for 3. His football. Williams Goss.
Beautiful
it up for Kemp, but he couldn't handle it. Excellent look. I think he was expecting Kemp to go up and throw it down on an alley-oop.
That's not Sean's game, really, though. He's not the explosive player that you would think just by looking at him. He's much more of a skill, touch, finesse player who has got a magnificent body. Elgin Cook is the throwdown player.
Here's Young off the bounce and gets the 2. 24.
That play again.
40 points in the paint now for Washington.
If you can get that shot against a zone defense, the guys from Oregon, the guys playing that zone, they're not committed to the team's goals.
Young again off the fake, gets into the lane. Beautiful shot by Young. He's got.
You know that promo that they always run for the Pac-12 Conference of Champions where they talk about athletics being an intelligent competition. And right now we've seen some very suspect plays by Washington down the stretch. At 4-on-1 fast break.
Here's Young on the line, but it's good at 2.
Life as somebody who's on their way back.
12 ties, 11 lead changes. Washington going essentially with a 5-guard lineup now defensively. 35 seconds to go in regulation. We are tied at 74.
So why doesn't Oregon just post up Elgin Cook and have him go to that jump hook again?
Shot clock at 3. Here's Young. Off balance, scores with 1 on the timer.
Neither team has any. You want to have offensive balance and make some threes, but if there's not going to be any resistance at the rim, why not like that? The first doesn't travel.
And Savon Goodman throws it away. 3-on-1 for Oregon. Young, the floater.
You get a 3-on-1. Jordan Bell should be fresh. Only 4 minutes. He never came back. We spent all that time talking about how coaches treat it differently, and Dana Altman sat him the rest of the half.
Offensive rebound for Oregon. The Ducks are led by as many as 10 in the first half. And
Jack McKissick on the perimeter. McKissick head down right to the rim. Gives Arizona State the 1-point lead.
5-second differential.
5 seconds.
And McKissick a new career high of 24. Joseph Young answers for Oregon.
Top 6 players left through graduation and matriculation. Over the offseason, another out the passing lane opportunity for the Ducks.
Benjamin with that steal, taking York in.
Nice. This guy, Dwayne Benjamin, one of my favorite players. I can't look at him, though, without thinking of Snoop Dogg.
You think Snoop Dogg can shoot like that?
Depends on what he's shooting.
All right, late clock. Now, Young's looking. He's got pits on it. He'd like to go.
Beautiful.
That's what he did. So Young felt free there.
And over the course of the next 15 years of his life, everybody gets better with practice. Repetition, the 4th law of learning.
Joseph Young, nice shot.
I mean, they had just pounded the Oregon Ducks the night before, 2 nights before in Eugene. And then just the short drive over the top here. Joe Young. Good hands by Dwayne Benjamin. Overwhelming.
Well, just as Young, the catch and shoot 3. There you go.
Just think of Joe Young.
And the 4th lowest point total in the country scoring in the bench, and one of the best bench players is in the starting lineup in Bucks.
Here's Elgin Cook, wants to take Looney. Outside to Rory, with still 14 to shoot. Abdul Bassett, again only his 3rd career start. 7 on the timer. Young finds his spot and hits.
As far as the depth of their scores, UCLA losing 3 players early to the NBA draft, and Travis and David Ware both graduated. Travis playing for the New York Knicks.
It certainly takes time for the coach, in this case both coaches, to kind of rebuild the program, something that Steve Alford and Dana Altman have had to deal with over the past couple of months. Young, deep 3, got it! So deeply from Hamilton from deep. Casey Benson, the freshman point guard, back in for Oregon. Young going baseline and somehow finishes off glass. From small town Wilbur, Nebraska, had 42 students in his graduating class. 26th year as a Division I college head coach. Joseph LA Bruins within 11. Here's Joseph Young, 10 points, 4 of 5 shooting, including 2 of 2 from deep.
It's only an 11-point game.
We thought maybe that the Ducks would pull away as Young finds his spot. It's just so smooth.
To the moon on that rebound. The energy that it gives you when a guy who's been struggling with his jump shot all year, it's got big ones.
What a drive by Joseph Young. One of the
will play the remainder of the season and he'll have another year of eligibility. He's become a really good low-post scorer. So I don't think all is lost for the Bruins. The problem is, though, like program momentum-wise, the blowouts that they have sustained, the sizable blowouts on national TV, that stings you in recruiting, maybe more so than even your final record.
Well, give this group credit. They have tried to grit their way back and try to withstand the shooting barrage from the Ducks today. They've shot better than 70% for most of the afternoon. Young, 3 to shoot, finds a spot against 2 defenders and buries it.
Well, here's Jacobs, who passes up a shot, seeing Bell trying to hand off to Jovanovic. Stolen by Bell, and Young is on the run for 3. That cast is good. And Joseph Young.
Pretty impressive looking freshman.
Yeah, you're right. He plays with a poise. Young gets Bell to recover.
Lost his balance. Didn't go up strong.
Excellent movement of the ball inside out. Young for 3.
That's just a mistake. I would guess Oregon now will use as much clock as they can, because the clock doesn't stop at the end of the first half to try to get the last shot of the half.
Differential of about 8 seconds.
SC fought themselves back to 6, and now next thing you know, they're down.
Young with a beautiful crossover, bust.
Not happy again with the loose balls. They should have had that, and guys are bailing out. Got to stay in there and get the ball.
Young turns the corner on the screen, drives to the rim, and laid it in.
You know, if you're in the game and you still got Joseph Young in your back pocket, you are in great shape as the Ducks get the steal. And Joseph Young will finally get on the board with the jam.
He is scoreless no more in the
pound and let the ball go. It's either travel or a jump ball.
Here's Young. Fires from the corner. Joseph Young a 3. Anderson puts it back for the Huskies. Here comes Joseph Young, fires a 3. Got it, falling down.
By Elgin Cook. Both coaches talked about rebounding. Both coaches talked about moving the basketball. Young launches and hits.
Now, Ernie Kent talked about his team really struggling early on, and I think the key for them, they did not panic. They really kept with it. They knew long term what a great cut right.
Base first personal, 4th team foul on Washington State. Oregon has 2 team fouls. Jalil Abdul-Bassett in the game for the Ducks. He's in the backcourt along with Joseph Young and Casey Benson. Young, straight on from 3. Joseph Young, gone through a makeover of sorts. Kick out, jumper on the way. And it's short. Rory misses. Young from distance, and he nails it. Elgin Cook, a steal. And a bucket. Joseph Young.
And that's what you want your bench to do. A guy that comes in, solid player, but huge contributions early.
Backdoor cut, Young.
They need to do a better job on the glass. Oregon has hurt them on the offensive glass.
Oregon comes out with Ahmad Rory, Joseph Young in the backcourt. Up front, you've got Elgin Cook, Dylan Brooks, and Jordan Bell. This is Young off a cut, rises and hits. Yeah. Hawkinson playing with 2 fouls. A rare shot by Redding, and he misses the 3.
Now, this is exactly what Washington State did against UW. They like that small lineup. Oregon on the run.
And Young bang with 3 fouls. Lacey. There's Bell coming from inside to block it. Rory on the break. Kick back Young, a 3. And he got it.
Now put that
baseline. Johnson muscles. Hawkinson rebounds. Nice job by Bell, who altered one shot and got the rebound.
That was all Bell right there.
Oregon hunting for a bucket. Under 12 timeout on next whistle.
And Bell's got to play the rest of this game. I mean, he's got to be in there for this Oregon team. Can't foul.
Young! To start their conference season. Bell steps through.
And you wonder again, with this pace.
Young!
Oh, and here you go.
A double-double for Hawkinson. He's got 20 and 11, and he's stripped to the ball there. Great play by Brooks. Up ahead to Young. He will dunk it. And Oregon, after big shot, Oregon and Washington State trading haymakers. Young, step back. My goodness.
He's going to face the other team's best athlete for sure. I think that's what Justice does. They like him. He's not going to blow by you with the dribble, but he can make the open shot. He's got pretty good size. Young right back at it. Trey Holder. So.
And right away after that lost possession, some of the Arizona State players talking to each other about what was supposed to happen there as Young hits the drive.
Put it down, and now you can't get your hand on top of the ball.
So Oregon feels like it's been a month since they made a basket.
It's 14 points in 16 plus minutes. They're switching off a little bit. They're able to do that size-wise. They've got Bell inside.
And there's Joseph Young. Jordan Bell did get through. There was a lot of early fouls for Oregon. Bell got through halftime with just 2. Young comes off the from deep. Finally taking that 3, McKissick. Yeah, he's made only the second made 3 for ASU today.
They're 2 for 12 right now, so I don't know that I'd fall in love with it.
Joseph Young.
You've got your best offensive players with Brooks, Young, Rory on the floor. Is that simple screen?
Well done by Bell. Elgin Cook and Jordan Bell back for the Ducks.
It's on Young. Young's got to find a way to get it going.
And there he tries it using the high screen. And yeah, nice. Boy, that was just a terrific penetration. And then another interior pass by Parker Jackson Cartwright.
He's going to be a nice player, Jackson Cartwright. Try and turn Arizona over. There you go.
With another drive and finish, 19 for TJ.
Haven't seen him looking to get to the rim this much in last 2 years. Done a ton of their games, but I think it gives Arizona another dynamic.
Professionally overseas as well as the CBA is a steal by Joseph Young. And he is all 5 for the Ducks.
It's a coincidence, but it's going to be a great game next week.
Casey Benson, a 3. And the rebound spiked out to Abdul Bassett for Oregon. Wayne Benjamin back in the game. Joseph Young on the drive. Gets the roll. The Carolins. And 16 players on the roster, only 10 scholarship players. They held walk-on tryouts in early October to fill out the roster, and they took 6 guys.
Definitely under construction, the Oregon State basketball program. You can see Joseph Young in the lane with the nice
baseline. The first points of the game for Gary Payton the second, and it's a 2-point game.
A timely 2-pointer for Gary Payton II as Joseph Young, you not have to call the bank. That was not a good shot.
Corey, how is this game tied?
It's tied because the Beavers have stayed steady. They haven't panicked.
2-point lead. And a steal poked away by Dwayne Benjamin. Young has scored the last 8 points for the Ducks.
A little trickeration right there by Dana Altman. A little press just because.
Run him off guard.
Yeah, get the turnover. Second chance to score.
Young from the corner. He's got the last 11 for Oregon.
Nice one-on-one effort there by Malcolm to get in the lane with the floater.
Joseph Young, a good look. You can't give him that look.
Based on who pulls off the win today.
I know we gave a lot of love to Oregon football, as we should. They're going to play for the national championship. But did you know Terry Baker was a Heisman Trophy winner at Oregon State? Not only was a Heisman Trophy winner, but played in a Final Four as well as Joseph Young with 8-point game.
Beavers right back knocking at the door, back in that zone.
A little bit of a 1-3-1 look from Oregon State.
1-3-1. You're not really guarding anybody in particular. You're just trying to keep track of where Joseph Young is, and you want to collapse when the ball gets to the high post.
Shot clock at 10.
Ducks have to bring somebody to the middle of the floor. They can't continue to play on the perimeter against that zone.
Unless you have Joseph Young.
Field goal among 109 from inside the perimeter. Travis Souza.
See Oregon looking to push even on made baskets, trying to get down the floor and get a shot before the Anteaters get set.
Young left wide open and cans it. You can't get here last year. The Ducks throbbing for the Ducks. Mighty Joe pulls up and cans it. He's got.
Makes you wonder how somebody didn't scholarship him coming out. He's a pretty tough little player.
Out of Chaminade Prep in the San Fernando Valley near LA. Bell skips it out to Joe Young. They leave him open. He drains it. Maybe that's the spark. 8 shy of Tony Woods from back in 2011-12.
Whole lot of stuff going on right now. Whole lot of things that can happen. Oregon's got to come out with a special right here. Baseline to Young.
Young over right.
Ball game.
Swish. Joseph.
One of the top offensive teams, not just in the Pac-12, but in the country.
Again, it's Abdul Bassett working on May. He's coming off an NCAA high 48-point performance against St. Francis of New York last time out. Benson passed on an open 3 to get it back to number 3, Joe Young back.
Well, again, close out.
Young pushing with his eyes up. Skip pass to Benson. Already has 1-3, a little bit flat on that second attempt. Cook chases it down in the corner.
Well, Delaware State's trying to get back in transition now. They're kind of struggling getting out to the corners, and they'll go to that zone. They'll play a lot of zone concepts, trying to stay in. You can see them covering elbows, covering inside. They prefer to give up outside contested threes, but they don't want to be giving up contested 3 to that young. There's about that's
on the ball handling duties and breaking the token pressure from Oregon in the full court. Here's a lob.
Again, an easy shot, or not an easy shot, but a close range shot, and Delaware State just can't convert right now, but they are getting some looks.
Benson to the baseline to a wide open Joe Young. He threads another.
JB, if anybody understands how to play, obviously comes from basketball family. But as we speak, JB, that answers my question. I'll tell you what he said, but you know, players today, I think if that's a personal preference, and Joseph Young is kind of a colorful guy, good-natured guy, and you know, you let those.
Cook trailing, the pass intercepted. May and Williams running, and it's Amir May pinned by Bell.
Well, that's what he does, JB.
Back and forth we go with Young pulling up. Beautiful shot.
You see the trends.
In fact, ahead of only Arizona State, USC, Washington State, and the rival Bees. What do they have to do to overachieve when league play does roll around?
Well, I think we talked about it earlier, JB.
Just inside of 13 minutes to go in this one. Now we're inside of 8, and it's back to a 10-point game. Delaware State in their zone. Joe Young with Dylan Brooks, Ahmad Rory in the backcourt, Elgin Cook and Michael Chandler up front. Number
officials up.
Nice dribble drive by Haywood. Bell pinned it. to Joe Young, who will take it himself.
Big play, JB. That's
versus UO.
You hate to get a foul on an out-of-bounds play where nothing really much is happening.
Benjamin.
Dribble handoffs. Really five-out offense. The old swing offense that they've run for years. Dana Rand made famous.
West. Trying to make a little noise here on the road.
That was Coach Altman's timeout. You're going to get another one on the under 12 here coming up. So
Cook with the kick out. Young set and drills it. His foot. Brooks on the move to Young. Stops. Too long. And chases his own shot down.
Shooter always knows who's the first one to know when he misses.
Didn't miss that one.
Although you're not guarded very hard at the free throw line.
That's a good point.
A little more zone. Northridge trying to slow tempo.
Young again. This one rattled too. Ducks in the preseason poll picked 8th in the conference. Young's got another one.
Drive a seam and try to kick it or score it.
Bell can't connect. Young intercepts the pass intended for Hicks. Freshman mistake by Webb.
Nice play right there. Good body control from Santa Barbara, so they'll make you have to play correctly.
Blue throws it right to Bell. Young on the run out.
On track offensively. Rainbow jumper off the mark. Oregon down by 5 with the ball.
Tell you what, he didn't make that shot, but that was wonderful fundamentals. Jab fake, up fake. He got Benjamin off his feet and was able to clear himself for an open look.
Young. That's pretty nice. We've seen Colbert only played a minute a couple of days ago against Villanova. Here's Young, NBA 3. His dad played in the NBA.
This be a 3-man booth or something. Why got to be a monster?
If they've got a 3-point shooting contest, my money is on Scoot Penn.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. One of Ohio State's great guards and a long list of great guards.
Penn is mightier than the sword. 3 still corrals and scores. 10 now for the senior.
Great job by Egwu taking his time, gathering himself, Eric, not rushing, and making sure that he can finish.
He's turned into a really solid college player. Real good 4-year career for Nana Egwu. Under 8 minutes to play. Young, the spin. That's a scorer's touch. Oh, goodness. And the back. Dylan Brooks has had a wonderful offensive game. He's 1 foul away from being eliminated from this game. Young.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, he is.
Time back up. Moody. Not close. Jordan Bell now on the floor. Joseph Young's first try, and he gets it. There's Joseph Young, an open look. And it stays aligned with Jordan Bell. Left hand through. Summers finding the baseline. Hanging, but swatted away there by Bell. That's a big part of his game. Young quickly to the front court. High off the glass. And the drought comes to a close.
Seen a lot of basketball. Have not seen a 3-1-1 full court press with a big man on the point.
Different look for the Rebels. This time the Ducks break it quickly. Young tries to find a seam, instead pops out, gives it up to Abdul Bassett. Joseph Young, 3-ball, gets it.
Ole Miss out of the lane, and here's the kicker. We haven't heard anything from Jarvis Summers yet, and he's their leading scorer.
Summers averaging about 14 a game. Here's Young, the pump fake with the hang time. Newby underneath gets 2.
15 to 5 second chance points. Ole Miss way in front of that category. Meanwhile,
pretty good. Nice basketball team this year. The other advantage that Oregon has with this size is they can switch all screens, so they don't really lose anything defensively in terms of matchups, and that makes it difficult to play against them.
Young turns the corner, and there's his first field goal.
Looked like a little Euro step there.
And points for Dylan Brooks, and there's a three. Only the second one that Concordia has made tonight. John Erickson, the sophomore from Sisters, Oregon. Young again. Boy, he's not going to shy away until he finds that stroke.
No, you can, if you're not shooting.
If you're Concordia here, how do you keep Oregon from getting these easy runouts?
Well, you got to take care of the ball. Jeepers, I mean, they've just got to work better leads, and they've got to take care of the ball better than that.
Kerwin spent the better part of his first 3 seasons backing up the reigning Conference Player of the Year, Adam Herman, who has since graduated from the program, and Joe Young. I have no idea how that pass got through Jordan Bell.
Well, he just bounced it right through in there, but Concordia kind of tried to quick the ball rather than get it up strong. And got a little work to do, but he's also doing a very nice job of putting this young group together. Concordia jumps into a zone off the end line out of bounds, which is smart, just to slow tempo down a little bit.
Benson, Rory, Brooks, Young, and Cook. There's 5 here in the second half, and Joe Young has not had much success from the three-point arc, but he's been good in the key.
Has been a take, really, if you think about it.
Jalil Abdul-Bassett has their only make.
See, the pass there took him out of his rhythm. The ball was down around his knees, and he didn't get a rhythm. You got to put the ball right on target to get a three-point shoot or a step-in shot.
Pass to the shooting pocket, right?
Yep.
See how in rhythm
that
Young
was nice.
That got it right there.
That thing.
Elgin Cook, the on ball for Joe Young. Crossed it over and hit the long 2. Joe Young in the passing lane. Joe Young to the left.
Guy and went.
Back door off that UCLA cut. Young got a screen at the elbow and scored.
And an off-balance, nifty left-hander. Deshaun Wiggins. Brooks. Well, the Ducks right now, you can see the shooting. Portland State just 4 of 21. It's a very good shooting team. Young off balance. Tonight, you've got a Big Sky team that is 4-0 that beat USC on the road. And an Oregon team coming off 2 losses in Brooklyn. But Oregon has been fantastic.
Oregon is smacking them around in every facet.
Abdul Bassett with his 14 points off the bench for Oregon. It's been a big boost. Joseph Young. And that's a good.
Get a tip in. Get something easy. Don't make it always hard.
3-point play brings it within 14. Young cranks it up, and all of a sudden, they need to hope, certainly, that Michigan and VCU continue to be top 20 teams. That would help. Young backs in and scores.
He'll be effective offensively.
Isaiah Sweeney, a freshman, is in for Portland State, along with Brandon Cataldo. So 2 guys we haven't seen yet are off the bench for the Vikings. Looking for any spark. Young. It's a 2. One of the most impressive things about Dana Altman this offseason, and even early in this season, a very young team and not a lot of depth. As Young, nice pass, good entry.
Hard pressed to stay with VCU for 40 minutes as up-tempo as this game's going to be.
Well, it's a young team as well. I mean, you look at the roster from a season ago, they lost 10 players off of their roster from a season ago. Just Joseph Young and Elgin Cook were players that played significant minutes for Dana Altman. So this is an entirely new group, and they're led by that young man right there, Joe.
Lewis had a scary moment, concussion against Tennessee in the opener, but only missed 1 game. Young for 3. That might get him going.
Guys to come through for them.
Ducks have 6 newcomers. You can credit Dylan Brooks for that one as Benjamin came up with it. Joseph Young all the way to the right.
He's shooting that.
Casey Benson with the steal. He's got Young on his right. Finds him. Joseph Young and one.
Easy offensive rebound.
Justin Drummond rejected by Jordan Bell. Young got it. And that's a
stop. Avoid the charge.
State Farm halftime report coming up with Ashley Adamson in studio. Texas and Cal in New York City. Likewise in the city. Crosstown in Brooklyn.
Move up and play him at an NBA three-point line. He shoots it too deep for them to be backed off him.
He's 4 of 6 on threes. Has a game-high 14 points. Ducks trail by 1. Shot clock dead. Joseph Young goes to work. Cast for 3. And he hit.
Both ends. Out of the halftime.
Joe Young. Ducks by 8. Juice Brown. He's set to get his team back in the game. Benson ahead to Joseph Young. Here we go. Young jams it home.
For 7 for Detroit. Then went quiet. He has points 8 and 9 right there.
I like his game. He's under so much control. Doesn't force anything. They see Young with the
like to jump and pass, huh? That's the end result. That's the first turnover in quite a while for the Ducks, and they steal it right back. And here's Young. 12 of their 19 losses. They just couldn't close. As Wilson picks up where he left off. He had 11 first-half points. Buries the 3 there. And Young off right about this time in the first half.
taking a little bit of a breather offensively, and then you see Young with a nice move and the bucket on the penetration time going to the rack.
Yeah, he only has 2 made field goals, and both times they've been athletic slam dunks. They're real excited about this freshman from Birmingham, Michigan. Here's Young, and he's getting hot. Short, they got an offensive rebound and a block. And Oregon comes away with a 2-on-1, and Young's going to get it back and score.
Stay in the flow.
Rory has all the time in the world with Bass closing and missed it. And Bell gets it back. You can see Detroit getting a little tired here. And
Fripp trying again. Made his first, missed the next. Young eyeing 3. Got through. Coaches more than freshman point guard, especially coming into the Division I ranks. And the growth process for Rory going to be key for the Ducks here at the outset of the season. Young from about the same spot. Only worked against each other for the first month. Michael Grant excited to let him go tonight against different competition. Young off the turnover gets the roll. And this Eagle squad has gotten the message from their new head coach. If you're open, shoot it.
And you see there's a lot of new faces on the court already for Coppin State. Coach Grant said, I'm going 11 deep. We're pretty interchangeable.
Offense and calling his own name when needed. Young all the way. Brick house out of control. Another shot that's a touch wild, and the Ducks with numbers. Young again.
Coppin State back into a man-to-man defense.
3 on the way from Young. Young. Handed his face that time and short of the shot. Another try. That one is true. Earlier today, tail end of shoot around. Believe they're in for the entire weekend. They'll catch that next Oregon game coming up Monday against Detroit. Ducks will be busy too. Toledo next Friday, and then the Legends Classic in Brooklyn. You got Michigan first and either Villanova or VCU after that. Final ticks here first half. Can Young continue his onslaught? Yep. Little loosey-goosey right now. Shot short from Cephas. And Young will attack the rack and put it in a Duck uniform. On opening night, it's brought him 27 points and a couple of assists away from a double-double. Chance for assist number 9. Nope.
It'll make it